You're sitting on a train. Your eyes are on your phone. You feel nothing unusual. Then, without knowing why, you look up. Someone across the aisle is staring directly at you. You didn't hear them. You didn't see them out of the corner of your eye. Something in you just knew. That feeling has a name. Scientists call it gaze detection, and it might be one of the oldest alarm systems your brain ever built. For most of human history, being watched meant one thing: danger. A predator crouched in the grass, a rival tribe scouting your camp. Noticing eyes on you wasn't curiosity, it was survival. So your brain built a shortcut, a fast, quiet process that scans every face in a room and asks one question, again and again. Is that gaze pointed at me? Here's where it gets strange. Researchers have found humans can detect the direction of someone's gaze with remarkable precision, even from far away, even in dim light. Your visual system tracks the exact angle of two tiny dark circles and calculates instantly whether that angle lands on you. Why would evolution spend so much energy on something so specific? Because the cost of missing it was brutal. Miss a predator's gaze, and you become lunch. But overreact to a gaze that wasn't there? You just flinch for nothing. So your brain made a trade. Better paranoid 1,000 times than wrong once. Evolutionary psychologist Randolph Nessa calls this the smoke detector principle. A smoke detector that goes off when you burn toast is annoying. One that stays silent during a real fire is fatal. Your ancestors' brains were built like that detector. So is yours. Think about that the next time you feel eyes on you in an empty parking lot, then turn around to find nobody there. Your brain isn't malfunctioning. It would rather embarrass you 100 times than fail to warn you once. But gaze detection isn't only about danger. It's also about connection. Long before language, your ancestors had eyes. A held gaze could mean trust. A darting glance could mean fear. A locked stare across a fire could mean challenge, or desire, or warning. Entire conversations happened before a single word was spoken. That's why eye contact still feels loaded today. Prolonged eye contact from a stranger can feel thrilling on a first date and unsettling on a dark street. It's the exact same behavior. Only the context changes the verdict. Researchers studying social cognition have identified a brain region called the superior temporal sulcus, dedicated almost entirely to tracking where another person is looking. You don't consciously decide to notice someone's eyes. A piece of your neural architecture does it for you, constantly, without asking permission. Which brings us to something stranger. What happens when you can't tell if you're being watched at all? In a well-known study led by researchers at Newcastle University, an honesty box at an office coffee station collected significantly more money in weeks when a poster of watching eyes hung above it, compared to weeks when a poster of flowers hung in the same spot. The eyes weren't real. Nobody was watching. Something ancient in people responded anyway. This is called the watching eyes effect. Your brain doesn't require proof you're being watched. It only requires the suggestion of eyes, and it adjusts your behavior without you noticing. Think about how differently you act when you believe no one is watching, versus when you know someone might be. The version of you in an empty room isn't quite the same as the version of you under a gaze, even an imagined one. That's not a flaw. That's a survival mechanism, thousands of generations old, still quietly steering you. The predators are mostly gone, but the alarm never got the memo. You feel it when a photo of you gets more views than expected. You feel it when a room goes quiet as you walk in. You feel it wondering if your camera is really off. Your ancestors' system was built to track a handful of eyes in a small group of people you knew. It was never built for thousands of unseen eyes, all at once, all unknown. Your brain still runs the same ancient calculation. It just doesn't know the numbers have changed. So the next time you feel that prickle on the back of your neck, that pull to turn around with no evidence at all, remember what's happening. You're running a program written by ancestors who survived by noticing eyes before eyes noticed them. You looked up on that train, not because you heard or saw anything. Somewhere deep in your biology, a silent alarm went off, the same alarm that once meant life or death. Today, it just means someone glanced over for a second. Your brain doesn't know the difference. It never did. It never needed to.